Hi guys, it's Weedit. I just finished a video talking about basic studio prep, and it was really pretty much geared more towards painting with different mediums, and I'm getting ready to do some more of that basic studio prep, but I'm also getting ready to do what I call studio prep for mixed media, and it's a lot more fun, truthfully. The studio prep for mixed media is, but I thought I would share some of the things that I do, and I would love to know what y'all do. What kinds of things do you do to keep on hand to play with? And these are things that I do to keep on hand to play with, but also when I'm feeling creatively blocked, I don't know what to do, or when I'm low on energy and I just want to play and I don't want to have to think about it. So I just want to relax. So here are some of the things that I do. Now I just did some ATCs and I used, let's see if we can get a good picture of this, two types of letterpress paper. And letterpress is something that I do all at one time. I do a bunch at one time because it's kind of messy. It involves oil paint. It's a printing technique. It does really deboss as well. And you've got to set the papers aside to dry. So I do a whole bunch at one time, and the paper is really thick and really nice that you use. So it's great for cards, ATCs. It has a very elegant look. So I'll do a bunch of letterpress at one time. And it's similar to, if you don't have a letterpress, much easier to do is just use some embossing folders. So I'll emboss a whole bunch of paper, and I'll put ink on one side, you know, put some ink here and then run it through the Big Shot, or whatever machine you've got. I think I've got anyway, I do a bunch of these. I do them for cards and just mixed media in general. Sometimes I use colors, sometimes I don't. I do it on all different kinds of paper. So I have on hand some paper that is already partially worked. This is a really fun thing that I do, and I do need to do some more, and that is these molds. They are so wonderful for mixed media. These are using fondant silicone molds, and you use whatever kinds of paste that you've got in it. You can use non-silicone caulk. That works extremely well. You can use Liquitex's flexible molding paste. That works really well. Or any of those like dimensional pastes that you use with stencils. The one thing you want to be careful about is they have to be silicone free. And that's why I say make sure if you're using caulk it is silicone free, because the mold is silicone and it will stick. But then you've got these wonderful, wonderful little embellishments that you can use throughout the year, and they're already done. And I do a bunch of those at one time. Again, there's a time involved in that where it needs to wait. The other thing that I do is I cut out words. I get an old paperback that I'm done with, and I go through and I cut out words that I find are interesting. So if I want to do something with found poetry, I've got the words already handy. A lot of times if I'm trying to figure out, I don't know what I want to say, I take the words, put them face up, no order. I used to organize them by subject, verb, adverb, adjective, article, all of the, no, don't do that. Just put them where you can see them, and as your eye wanders through them, it will pick out sayings or little quotes that you wouldn't have thought of. So again, just going through and picking out and cutting out some words. And this is one I think probably everybody does, but I'm really interested in storage, and that's die cuts. I go to my scrap paper. I have two bins of scrap paper, two little drawers, and they're sorted by basically color and pattern. And I go through and get those scraps and make a bunch of die cuts all at one time. And then I put them in page protectors, and they're sorted roughly by category. This one is by feathers. Let me get this out of the way. Birds, wings, flowers. Looks like I've got some trees here. Hearts. You'll recognize some hearts from the ATC that I just used. So they're, very roughly categorized and in top-loading page protectors. I love this method. The only thing is it gets kind of bulky. So, but it's still not bad. It's a good way to sort them so that I can get through them. But I really would like to know if anybody has another method that works for them that they use to sort their die cuts. There's another. This is all I have left from this year of the papers that I went ahead and ran through an embossing folder. So I just keep them on hand. And you can see this one's got paint and everything already on it. Most of them don't, but this one does. So they're here and they're ready for me to grab and use. So, but I don't have many left, so I will go through and do some more die cutting and do some more of the embossing folders. On a little different note, I sit down and I make a whole bunch of embellishments using molds. This one needs trimming up. This was using hot glue, and it's coral. So I'll just have to go in with a X-Acto knife. That's what I'm trying to come up with, and trim it up. But I have that. I have quite a few things. I didn't drag everything out. I have some nice little pearl borders. I have a face, and I enjoy doing that. I have a mushroom. We know I have a thing about mushrooms. And then this is all paper clay in here, and all kinds of some of these. There's some more mushrooms, some baby doll faces, some cameos. But I just do a whole bunch of molding at one time, so I have some embellishments to play with. And it also really helps because then when I see embellishments for sale, I'm like, oh, I have some. I have plenty. I may not have that exact thing, but I don't feel like, oh, I don't have anything. And then we get to, this is possibly one that might be new. I print a bunch of pictures that I've taken. These are flowers. So I've got some reference photos. That's not showing up very well on camera, but it is really, really beautiful. And Chester, of course. And Painsley, who escaped last night, and we cannot find her to get her in. So keep your fingers crossed that we locate her. She is an indoor cat. Been all over looking for her. So I paint some reference photos. These are those coasters, and I like to, that's got a little green on it, but I like to keep a few of these on hand so that I can just paint something quick and easy, just something silly with it. And also, when I travel, I'll take some of these because they're already colored, and then all I need are either my markers or my pencil or whatever I'm going to use on top of them. So, artist trading cards, some backgrounds. I'll sit down and just do some backgrounds so that I have a few. Oh, that one is one I'm actually kind of working on. I didn't realize it had slipped in there with the castle moon, and there's a face right there, but that one's not done. So I'll do the ATCs. These were done with, I have no clue. No idea what I did, what I used. Looks like sprays. These look like sprays. They're all nice and glittery and shiny, so evidently I sprayed quite a few. I decorate tags. This is what I've got left. So I drag out stuff. I'll do some stamping, do some background coloring. Oops, there we go. I was playing with distress oxides there, and these obviously would need to be toned down a little bit. But there you have it, some backgrounds that I have on tags. And then these were playing with brushos. All right, here, pigment powders. This is another thing that I like to do and keep on hand. These are, I don't know if you can see, this is embossed. The white is embossed. So I take those colored backgrounds and then I use a background stamp on them. So I have some backgrounds already ready to go and to use. And because this takes, this takes a good bit of energy, I just do a whole bunch at one time, and then I can use them for cards or ATCs or make tags out of them, anything that I want. So I do a bunch of background stamping and or embossing at one time. That's just some background papers. This is something that probably most of us do. And here's just some book pages that I have swiped paint across. I love working on book pages. And then, of course, background papers. And again, this is what I have left. So, and that's really not a background page. It was something that I did in crayon, and I didn't like it. So I thought, well, I'll keep it. I can probably use the paper somehow. And more background. And there I've already gotten into that background page. So that's all I've got left. This is on deli paper, so I need to sit down and probably do a little bit more of all of these things. I haven't gone through my scrap pile yet to do the die cutting, and I don't really have too many background papers left. So, but I sit down and I'll do a bunch of these, like a bunch of the background papers or a bunch of the ATC backgrounds, that kind of thing, all at one time, so they're ready for me and I can come in. And chances are, if I am creatively just blocked, I can't think of anything to do, if I come in here and play with the background papers, or if I color some book pages, something like that, then I will end up thinking of something that I want to do. It's like playing with the stuff gets me inspired. But I've taken the pressure off so that all I have to do is make background papers, or all I have to do is put some paint on some book pages, and it's just very relaxing. I am all about having this stuff on hand to play with, so please let me know if there's something that you do that you like to keep on hand to help you out when either you're creatively blocked or when inspiration strikes and you want to do a project, but you're like, oh, I'm going to have to letterpress this paper and it's going to take days to dry. I don't want to do that. So you get it all done at one time. Just let me know in the comments below. And thank you so much. If the video was helpful, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.